Okay. So one of the topics that we're going to talk about, something that you said you don't have anything nice to say about, and I don't know really anyone who does in our kind of in the world that like we're operating in the bar world. Yelp.
Oh God.
So do you remember what it was like when you first were running into Yelp? Like, was there a honeymoon period where it's like, oh man, this is no?
I mean, I try not to pay attention to it the most I possibly can. Like, I couldn't tell you, other than when someone brings it to my attention, like when someone's written a review.
Okay.
I think Yelp, you know, as bad as restaurateurs can say it, it does serve a purpose, you know, and it's unfortunately in our industry now, I think, ingrained, and you can't really get away from it. How you choose to react to it is probably the strongest thing. I mean, I just think it's a platform for really, really nice people to write really nice things about you, and then a soapbox for assholes to get some shit off their chest. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can curse, but that's you know, that's the nicest way I can put it.
Okay.
I think it's something that no one in our industry would ever do. As far as
what do you
like
mean
just go on and write a review or take a picture and give our experience of a place. Like our profession in our world, that just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like it's very like, are you kidding me? Like I think that's
I think I mean it's like kind of bizarre.
Yeah,
right?
it is
Like
very bizarre.
I
It's
don't
like
have
a
any
bunch
friends,
of
you know.
it's a bunch of, I hate using this word, but it's a bunch of fucking nobodies that don't know anything about the industry giving their professional opinion about it. And it's like, you got to be kidding me. Like you don't, if you ran a bar for, or if you just bartended for a year, Yelp would be the most preposterous things in the world to you, in my opinion. You know, it's good. Like I'll use it if I do ever use it. I think I would use it to look at like pictures that customers post, because then that doesn't lie. It's not like a restaurateur putting professional pics up of his food and cocktails,
or like stock photos of like
exactly,
a very multi-ethnic group of people just all like thumbs up having fun.
Little like watermarks in the bottom corner.
Right.
But yeah, like I feel like that would be the only use, because that's the only truth about that damn platform, in my opinion.
Are the photos,
or the photos of like what customers say, because like how food's presented is like, you know, is very important when you see it. And it's like, I used to actually tell my staff that too, is like, you know, or the kitchen staff would be like, when you plate something and it goes out, just think that it could go on Yelp anytime. You know what I mean? And that's our representation. That's our standard, you know?
right?
And that's the only thing I would think it would be good for, is like to get a true representation of how a restaurant operates and what it looks like. Because if they care about the presentation of their food and, you know, the glassware and the setting and whatever it may be, like what their menu looks like, you can get a good idea of what that place is going to be good or not.
Right.
As far as the reviews and all the words attached to those photos, I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like just the threatening aspect. Like, I mean, Yelp always is hitting you up for money, for advertising and all this other stuff. Like, oh, you'll be pushed to the top of the list. Like once you put money attached to it, it becomes fake, and B, it's a money grab at that point. You know, like, here, look how much influence we have over your restaurant. And it's like, no, I have the influence over my restaurant and my customers have the influence over my restaurant, not somebody out in, you know, the outer boroughs or in the city, or, you know, that think they
or
know
somebody from, you know, Minneapolis who flew in for the weekend.
Yeah,
Had
exactly.
like one meal
And no
you know.
context. And like, I remember having one, I could give you a couple that were pointed out to me.
I'd love to hear one of them.
Okay, so not only are you threatened when you're like full and you need to, and someone wants to be seated right away and not wait in line or something, that they will threaten you with bad Yelp reviews. That happens all the time. Like, oh, if you don't seat me right now, I'm going to like go on Yelp and write you a bad review. And my response is, get out.
Yeah.
Now you're not being
Leave.
seated, because absolutely. Okay. Like, you're not going to hold that over my head. You're not going to threaten me because you're a child and don't want to wait 15 minutes for a table. You know, like it's just like, these are the things that get you heated, and you're just like that's the kind of power though it has, and you're so out of control of that. Like there's no context. And if I go in and say this person was an absolute asshole and threatening and stomping their feet like a petulant child because they couldn't get their table seated in 15 minutes, that's why this review is you're never going to win. You know what I mean? Then you get in a pissing competition with someone who's absolutely not rational, and you're going to lose. You're going to end up looking like the loser, no matter whether you think you won or not, or they won or not.
So did you do you still reply to bad reviews, or like
Never have done.
never have?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't reply to good ones. I don't reply to bad ones. I just feel like I'm very appreciative of the good reviews. I really am,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, like I said, there's that really nice part where people just want to do a nice thing, or, whether
Yeah.
they think they're a food critic or beer critic or restaurant critic, like they put their bullet points up, and, and that's what their little thing is, and they become elite and whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I won't give the power
Yeah.
to a person of my time. Like, no,
So do you look at them at all, or is it only if
not really.
somebody
If
brings
someone
them?
says something, like, I
Who
think we
is?
had our first bad one at Sweet Avenue. Like, I think, and the only reason I say that is because I had an ex coworker come in. He was like, "Dude, you have a 5-star review on Yelp." He's like, "That's unheard of." Now, granted, we only had like maybe 15, 20 reviews or whatever. I was
Right.
like, "Oh, that's great." And then literally that day, I like someone's like, "Oh, you got a bad review," and I'm like, "Really?" And I read it, and it was just, it's insane. Like, the context is so out of it. Like, it's like, too expensive. It's like, no, it's not. It's too expensive for you.
Right.
And standard throughout the whole place. Like, my prices are just a margin. Like, I don't control what a brewery charges me. I just control the margin. And
Yeah.
I don't price gouge, and I don't do anything. I never have, never will. And it's just like, it's too expensive. It's too bright. It's like rock music instead of club music. It's like, none of those
Oh.
things are like relevant. Like, that's not what the place is. It's a retail shop with a bar. Like, if you're
And
looking
that,
for something else, it's your problem, not mine.
right, yeah, that's like not your ideal customer at all.
None.
Like you
And
didn't build it for them if they're looking for club music.
no. And it's like, your speakers suck. This is like awful. And it's like, all right, you're a sound tech now. You know what I mean? Not only a critic, you're now a sound. But it's like, I get it, and there's validity to some of it, but you're just like, why? Like, and it was like, I don't know. If you pull out those bad reviews and look at punctuation, grammar, and all these other things, that's the worst part of the review, is like actually trying to decipher what these people are saying.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like, I mean, I've had one, it was like, beer sucks, chicken wings suck, blah blah blah, and it's like, we didn't even serve chicken wings at 1 Mile House, so that was obviously about somebody else, but we get the review on it.
Oh,
You know
right.
what I mean? And it's like, you could go ahead and report it, I guess, but who's got time for that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Who's got time for it?
um,
Then you also get into their, they have your contact info, which is
exactly.
another part of this that I want to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about, is
Like, if
like,
someone had a horrible, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Like, if someone had a horrible experience and it seemed valid, like, raw chicken or something like that, it's like, I would respond to that. I would do it off to the side, not in a public domain, but like, kind of be
right.
like, that's unacceptable. Like, if it was something that was clearly like factual or possibly could have happened to the detriment of a customer, that would be the one time that you would write back and try to make that right.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody else kind of about like customer review stuff in general, and they're like,
Mhm.
okay, so my process is, if somebody is like complaining publicly, I figure out a way to contact them on Facebook, direct message, or like tweet it,
Yeah.
like private message on Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is, and like
Right.
try to like, okay,
Rectify it.
everything's free next time you come in, like go above and beyond and be like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Well, that's
But
that's very important as in running a restaurant, is like, your shit doesn't stink, like, or smell like roses all the time. Like, you do make mistakes. Like, things do fall
yeah,
through the cracks. Like,
there are way too
when
many moving pieces for things
yeah,
to not
and
get screwed up sometimes.
stuff becomes mundane. It's like, you're doing the same thing. Like, it's not like, I mean, the day changes constantly, but like, you're still doing the same stuff day in and day out, every week to week. And
Right.
with anything mundane, something always slips through, and you're like, oh, we got to focus more on that. Like, we messed up there. Like,
Yeah.
and if that so happens to fall on a customer and has a bad experience, that's awful. It feels awful too, and it's
Yeah, it
not your
sucks. I
standard.
mean, you put yourself in their shoes. Maybe they're going out to eat once a week because
Mhm.
they have like a babysitter
Yeah,
one night a
of
week, and
course.
this is like the one thing they're looking forward to. They have a bad time. That sucks.
That's
That
awful,
sucks.
and that's not what that's not why you do this. Like, and it is like, it's very important for staff to check their egos. They might be having a bad day, but like, you're the one on stage. Unfortunately, this is your job. Like, you have to check that at the door and just kind of put
Right.
it behind you, or just be polite. And if you're having that bad of a day, like, someone dog dies, and it's like, they have to work that day because other people are out of town, or you as an owner might be out of town, that you can't cover their shift or something like that. And it's like,
Right.
that's a horrible thing to, like, to work through. And, I think customers also have to realize that too, is that the people that are serving them are not just robots, or, they're, they're
fully
servants
formed individuals.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what they are.
They have emotions and stuff like that. But, it's their job. And that's what makes the job so hard, is that you have to check that so many and deal with so many different personalities wanting everything from you. You know what I mean? And
for sure,
expecting like no mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's your job to try to minimize that. But again, it's very difficult. I don't know how we got on that, but
well, how do you think customer relations, obviously, like, we're not holding location constant here, because pre-pandemic was 1 Mile House, and now like, I don't want to say post-pandemic, kind of like
in it,
wherever
out
we're
it,
at right now.
way out. Yeah.